Lisa was a tired woman, a black single mom. She had just finished a long shift at the hospital, helping patients all night. Her back hurt, her eyes were sleepy. But she had one more thing to do. Her 6-year-old son, Jordan, needed milk for breakfast. So Lisa held his small hand and walked into a nearby grocery store. It was a quiet store, not too big, the kind of place people go every day without thinking. But for Lisa, it always felt different. Every time she walked in, she felt eyes on her. Today was no different. As she pushed the small shopping cart, a tall man in a red vest, one of the store employees, watched her closely. His name was Kevin. He stood near the entrance with his arms crossed. He didn't smile. He didn't say hello. He just watched. Lisa noticed it. She always noticed. But today, she said nothing. She kept walking and told Jordan gently, "Stay close to me, baby." They walked to the dairy section. Lisa picked up a carton of milk and placed it in the cart. Jordan looked up at her. "Can we get apples too?" he asked sweetly. Lisa smiled. "Just a few. We'll keep it quick." Kevin spoke into his walkie-talkie quietly. "She's here again. Aisle 4, with a kid." Another worker, Melissa, responded. "Keep an eye on her. Last time, she looked suspicious." Kevin nodded and moved a little closer. He didn't know Lisa. He didn't know she worked 2 jobs. He didn't know how hard her life had been. He only saw what he wanted to see, a tired black woman in cheap clothes, with a child. And that was enough for him to judge her. Lisa turned into the fruit aisle. She picked up 3 apples and placed them in a small plastic bag. Behind her, Kevin stood near the shelf, pretending to fix some cans. But he wasn't looking at the cans. He was watching her hands. Lisa saw him in the corner of her eye. Her stomach turned. She tried to ignore him. Jordan pointed to the cereal boxes. "Can we get this one?" Lisa shook her head. "Not today. We don't have enough for that." Suddenly, Kevin stepped forward. "Ma'am," he said loudly. "Can I see what's in your bag?" Lisa turned, confused. "Excuse me." Kevin pointed at her purse. "I saw you take something. I need to check." A few other shoppers stopped to look. Lisa's cheeks turned red. "I didn't take anything. I only have milk and apples." Kevin didn't listen. "Security is on the way," he said coldly. Jordan looked up at his mom, scared. "Mommy, what's happening?" Lisa knelt beside him and hugged him. "It's okay, baby. Mommy didn't do anything wrong." But her hands were shaking. The manager arrived, along with a young security guard. "What's going on?" the manager asked. Kevin quickly spoke. "She was acting suspicious. She kept looking around. I think she tried to steal something." Lisa looked shocked. "That's not true. I was just shopping." The manager didn't look convinced. He nodded to the guard. "Check her bag." Lisa stood straight. "No, you can't just search me because you think I did something." More shoppers were now watching. Some whispered, some stared. Lisa felt small. She had only come to buy milk. The security guard stepped forward, unsure. "Ma'am, please cooperate." Lisa opened her purse slowly. "Here, look. All I have is my phone, my keys, and a few coins." The guard looked. He found nothing. Lisa looked at Kevin. "Are you happy now?" Kevin didn't answer. He just looked away. The manager cleared his throat. "Ma'am, you can go." Lisa stared at all of them. No apology. No explanation. Silence. She took Jordan's hand. "Come on, baby. We're leaving." They walked out of the store. Jordan was quiet. Lisa blinked away tears. Outside the store, a man leaned against a motorcycle. He had seen the whole thing from the parking lot. He stepped forward. "Lisa." Lisa turned. Her eyes widened. "David?" David smiled softly. He was her older brother, strong, calm, and protective. He had just come back from military service. He looked at her face, then down at Jordan, who was still holding the milk. "What happened in there?" David asked gently. Lisa didn't speak, but David could see the pain in her eyes. He turned toward the store and clenched his jaw. "I saw everything," he said. Then he reached into his jacket pocket and pulled out his phone. David's eyes were sharp as he stood outside the grocery store. phone in his hand. He had just recorded everything. How the employee had watched Lisa like she was a criminal. How the security guard had grabbed her arm in front of everyone. How his little nephew Jordan had started to cry. Lisa stood beside him, still holding Jordan's small hand. Her face was pale, her eyes wet, but her voice was steady when she said, "I just wanted to buy milk for Jordan. That's it." David looked at her with a calm strength. "They didn't see you, Lisa. They only saw what they wanted to see." Lisa nodded slowly, swallowing the lump in her throat. Inside the store, the employees whispered nervously. Gavin, the man who had accused Lisa, saw David's phone and realized he had been recorded. His face turned red with anger. "Delete that video," he muttered to Melissa, the other employee. "We can't let that get out." Melissa shook her head. "It's too late. People are already filming on their phones." Kevin's anger grew. He paced behind the counter. Outside, David took a deep breath and spoke loudly enough for the few people waiting outside to hear. "This isn't just about a carton of milk. It's about respect. It's about treating people fairly." More people gathered near the store. Some looked angry. Others looked curious. One woman said quietly, "I've seen this happen before. To my sister. To my friend. It's not right." Another man nodded. "We need to stand with her." Lisa looked around, surprised. She had never expected such support. David smiled softly at her. "You're not alone." Then, David posted the video online. Within minutes, it started to spread. People shared it on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Comments poured in. "This is racism. This is wrong. She was just a mom buying milk. We need to speak up for her." Back inside the store, the manager called a meeting with the staff. "We are in serious trouble," he said. "The video is everywhere." Kevin frowned. "It's just a mistake." "No," the manager said firmly. "We must handle this carefully." Meanwhile, Lisa's phone started ringing nonstop. Reporters, local news channels, even strangers wanted to talk to her. Lisa was scared, but knew she had to be brave. David held her hand. "You're stronger than you think." The next day, Lisa was invited to talk on a local TV channel. Sitting under the bright lights, with cameras pointing at her, Lisa felt nervous. But when the interviewer asked, "What happened that day?" she took a deep breath and told her story. "I just wanted to buy milk for my son. I never imagined someone would treat me like a thief." Her voice broke. "I felt scared, humiliated, but I did not do anything wrong." The viewers watched, moved by her courage. Back at the store, the owner saw the interview. He felt embarrassed. "We need to fix this," he said to the manager. As Lisa left the studio, a man approached her. "I'm a lawyer," he said gently. "I want to help you." Lisa looked surprised. "Why?" "Because this is about justice," he said. "No one should be treated like that." That night, Lisa sat by the window, looking at the stars. David sat beside her. "This is only the beginning." Lisa nodded. "I hope so." The moment David posted the video on his social media, it started to spread like wildfire. People all over the city, even in other states, were watching Lisa's story. Lisa sat at home with Jordan on her lap, staring at the screen. She had never expected so many people to see what happened. Messages and comments poured in nonstop. Some messages said, "I'm so sorry this happened to you." Others said, "Thank you for being brave." And many said, "This is not right. We need change." Lisa felt overwhelmed. She didn't know how to feel. Scared, thankful, angry, all at the same time. David sat beside her, watching the numbers climb, the likes, the shares, the comments. "This is more than just a video now," he said quietly. "People are listening." Lisa looked at him. "But will it change anything? Or will it just be another story people forget tomorrow?" David smiled softly. "No, this one will not be forgotten." Across town, the grocery store manager was in trouble. The owner had called an emergency meeting. "We must act fast," the owner said firmly. "This video is bad for business and bad for our reputation." Kevin, the employee who accused Lisa, sat quietly, his face red with shame and anger. The manager said, We are reviewing all staff behavior and security procedures. No more mistakes like this. But Kevin knew deep down that his mistake was not just a small error, it was the start of his downfall. The local news stations picked up the story. Reporters visited Lisa's neighborhood. They asked her neighbors what they thought. Some said they had noticed the unfair treatment, but were afraid to speak. Others said, Lisa is a good mother. She deserves respect. Lisa was asked to give interviews. Each time, her voice grew stronger. She was no longer the scared woman in the store. She was a symbol of courage. But not everyone was kind. Some people sent Lisa hateful messages. They blamed her for making a scene. They said she was exaggerating. Lisa read the messages with tears in her eyes. David hugged her and said, "Ignore them. You did nothing wrong." One day, a reporter brought a surprise. "We have a message from a witness," she said. It was a video from a customer who had been in the store that day. The customer said, "I saw what happened. Lisa did not steal anything. The employee treated her badly for no reason." The video added more weight to Lisa's story. Soon, people started gathering outside the store. They held signs. "Respect for Lisa. Stop racism. Justice now." Lisa watched from her window, amazed. She never thought her small fight for milk would grow into something so big. But inside the store, tension grew. The manager called Kevin into his office. "We have to let you go," he said quietly. "This is serious. The company cannot risk more bad attention." Kevin was angry, but knew he had lost his job. Lisa's phone rang again. This time, it was a call from a lawyer named Ms. Carter. "I want to help you fight this injustice," she said kindly. Lisa was nervous but hopeful. "Thank you." That night, Lisa sat at the kitchen table thinking. She looked at Jordan sleeping in his bed and whispered, "Mommy will protect you, I promise." David sat beside her, ready to help. The video had changed everything. Lisa sat nervously in the bright TV studio. The lights were shining directly on her, and cameras pointed everywhere. Her heart beat fast. She wasn't used to being the center of attention. Jordan was at home with David, safe and sound. Lisa thought about her son and took a deep breath. She was ready. The host smiled warmly and said, "Lisa, thank you for joining us today. Many people have seen the video of what happened at the grocery store. Can you tell us, in your own words, what happened that day?" Lisa looked at the camera and began to speak softly, but with strength in her voice. "I went to the store to buy milk for my son, Jordan. That's all. I was tired from work, but I wanted to give him something good for breakfast. But when I walked inside, I felt like people were watching me, and not in a kind way." She paused, blinking back tears. "A store employee followed me. Then security stopped me and accused me of stealing, even though I hadn't done anything wrong. My son started crying, and I felt so scared and embarrassed." The studio was quiet. Everyone listening could feel her pain. Lisa continued, "I am a single mom. I work hard every day. I pay for everything myself. But because of the color of my skin and how I look, they treated me like I was a criminal." She took another breath. "I don't want this to happen to anyone else." The interviewer nodded. "Your story has touched many people. What do you hope will happen now?" Lisa said, "I want respect. I want people to see us as human beings, not as suspects. I want change." At home, David watched the live broadcast. He saw the way Lisa spoke, not just with words, but with courage. He smiled and whispered, "She's amazing." The next day, the store's owner watched the interview too. He sat quietly in his office, feeling ashamed. "This should never have happened," he told his manager on the phone. "We need to make this right." He decided to visit Lisa personally. Meanwhile, Lisa's phone kept ringing. People called to support her, to thank her for speaking up. Some shared their own stories of unfair treatment. Lisa began to feel something new hope. A few days later, the store owner arrived at Lisa's door. He was nervous but sincere. "Ms. Lisa, I'm sorry for what happened in my store," he said. "We will do better. We want to learn from this." Lisa listened carefully. "Thank you for saying that. But words are not enough. Actions matter." The owner nodded. "I agree. We're reviewing our staff training and security policies. No one should be treated like you were. Lisa looked at him and thought about her son Jordan. She said, I just want a safe place for my child and for all families. The owner promised to make changes. But even as the store tried to fix its mistakes, Lisa received a message from someone inside the store, a cashier named Emily. Emily wrote, some of the staff are still talking about you. They don't understand why people care so much. Emily sent Lisa a secret recording of the manager and Kevin laughing about the incident. Lisa's heart sank. She knew the fight was not over. But now, with the world watching, Lisa felt stronger than ever. Lisa sat quietly at the kitchen table. The store owner's apology felt like a small victory. But inside, she still felt a storm brewing. Something wasn't right. Her phone buzzed again. It was Emily, the cashier who had sent her the secret recording. Lisa pressed play. The voice on the recording was low and mocking. It was Kevin, the employee who had accused her, laughing with the manager. Did you see her face? Like she actually thought she was innocent, Kevin said. The manager chuckled. Yeah, people love to make a big deal about nothing. Lisa's hands trembled. The apology from the owner now felt fake. David sat beside her. They're pretending to care, but behind the scenes, they still don't respect you. Lisa nodded. We need proof. We need to show the world who they really are. David thought for a moment. Maybe it's time to go public with this. The next morning, Lisa and David met with Ms. Carter, the lawyer. Ms. Carter listened carefully. This recording is important. It shows the true attitude of the store staff. We can use it. Lisa felt a new fire inside her. I want to do more than just share my story. I want justice. Meanwhile, the store owner held a meeting with his managers and staff. We must stop the leaks, he said firmly. No more videos, no more recordings. We need to protect our reputation. Kevin looked nervous. He knew the heat was on. Lisa decided to hold a small press conference. She stood outside the store, surrounded by reporters and cameras. She held up her phone. This is what they really think of me, and of people like me. She played the secret recording loud. The crowd gasped. Some shook their heads in disbelief. A reporter asked, What do you want to happen now, Lisa? Lisa looked at the cameras. I want them to be fired. I want the store to change. I want everyone to know that racism still exists, and we must fight it. The story exploded across the news. People called the store, demanding answers. Protesters gathered outside, holding signs that read, Justice for Lisa, and End Racism Now. The store owner had no choice. He issued a public statement. We deeply apologize for the actions and words of our employees. We are taking immediate steps to address this. Lisa watched the news and felt both hope and sadness. This is only the beginning, she told David, but I won't stop. David squeezed her hand. And I won't let you. After the secret recording was played at the press conference, many people believed the story was finally over. The store had apologized. The employees who had acted wrongly seemed to be held responsible. Lisa thought she could finally breathe a little easier. But David knew better. One afternoon, David called Lisa while she was at work. Lisa, I found something, he said quietly but excitedly. What is it? Lisa asked, curious. David took a deep breath. I've been digging. I talked to some former employees of the store. They told me there's more, much more than just what we saw in that recording. Lisa's heart pounded. What do you mean? David explained. There have been other incidents, other customers, mostly people of color, who were treated unfairly or accused wrongly. But they never spoke up because they were scared. Lisa's eyes widened. We have to bring this out. We can't let this keep happening. David had collected stories and proof from these people. He also had messages and photos. He met with Ms. Carter again and showed her everything. This is serious, Ms. Carter said. With this, we can push for a real investigation. Lisa felt hope again. Meanwhile, inside the store, the atmosphere was tense. The staff knew David and Lisa were not done. Kevin and some others whispered nervously. The store manager was worried about what might come next. David had one more surprise planned. He arranged a live online meeting where several victims could share their stories. Lisa was nervous but ready. The day came. The online meeting started. One by one, people spoke. A woman shared how she was followed around the store. A man told how he was stalked and accused of stealing, even though he had paid. A teenager spoke about being laughed at by employees. Their voices were strong, full of pain and courage. Thousands of people watched live. Comments flooded in. "We stand with you. This must stop. Thank you for your bravery." Lisa saw the faces of others who had suffered. She wasn't alone. The story caught the attention of the city's officials. A local council member called for an investigation into the store's practices. The owner was forced to meet with community leaders. Lisa sat with Jordan one evening, tired but hopeful. She looked at her son and whispered, "Mommy is fighting for you, for a better world." David stood nearby, proud. But Lisa knew the road ahead was still long.